World War I and World War II are two of the most significant conflicts in human history. They reshaped borders, societies, and global politics. Their impacts are still felt today. Each war had unique causes, major events, and outcomes. Understanding them helps us grasp the complexities of the modern world. World War I, known as the Great War, began in 1914 and ended in 1918. It was supposed to be the war to end all wars. However, just 2 decades later, World War II erupted, lasting from 1939 to 1945. Both wars involved many nations and caused immense destruction. The scale and scope of these wars were unprecedented. Examining these wars side by side reveals patterns and differences. This comparison helps us learn from the past. By looking at causes, major events, and outcomes, we can appreciate the gravity of their impacts. The causes of World War I and World War II were complex. They involved politics, economics, and social factors. World War I was triggered by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary in 1914. This event set off a chain reaction among the major powers. Alliances and rivalries turned a local conflict into a global war. In contrast, World War II had roots in the unresolved issues from World War I. The Treaty of Versailles left Germany humiliated and economically devastated. Adolf Hitler's rise to power in the 1930s, driven by nationalism and militarism, set the stage for another conflict. The invasion of Poland by Germany in 1939 triggered the war. Both wars were fueled by nationalism and imperialism. However, World War II also had strong ideological elements. Fascism and communism played vital roles. Economic factors like the Great Depression also contributed to the tensions. Understanding these causes helps us see the interconnectedness of historical events. World War I had several key events and turning points. The Battle of the Marne in 1914 stopped the German advance into France. The Battle of Verdun and the Battle of the Somme in 1916 resulted in massive casualties. The entry of the United States into the war in 1917 shifted the balance. The armistice on November 11, 1918, ended the fighting. World War II had its own critical events. The invasion of Poland in 1939 marked the beginning. The attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 brought the United States into the war. The D-Day invasion in 1944 was a turning point in Europe. The dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 led to Japan's surrender. Understanding these events helps us grasp the magnitude of these global conflicts. World War I saw the introduction of new technologies that changed warfare. Machine guns, tanks, and chemical weapons were used extensively. The airplane became a tool for reconnaissance and combat. Submarines, particularly German U-boats, disrupted naval operations. These advancements made the war more deadly and destructive. World War II saw even more significant technological advancements. Tanks became more advanced and played a crucial role in battles. The development of radar improved air defense. The use of aircraft carriers changed naval warfare. The most significant advancement was the development of the atomic bomb. It introduced a new era of weapons of mass destruction. The technological race during these wars had lasting impacts. It spurred innovations in many fields, from engineering to medicine. The use of advanced technology also raised ethical and moral questions. Understanding these advancements gives insight into how warfare evolved. Section 5. Impact on civilians and the home front. The impact of World War I on civilians was profound. Many countries experienced food shortages and economic hardships. Propaganda was used to maintain morale. Women entered the workforce in large numbers, changing traditional roles. The war also led to significant social and political changes, including revolutions and the collapse of empires. World War II had an even greater impact on civilians. The concept of total war meant that entire societies were mobilized for the war effort. Bombing campaigns targeted civilian populations. The Holocaust resulted in the genocide of 6 million Jews. Many civilians were displaced and economies were strained. Rationing and shortages were common. The home front was crucial in both wars. Civilians played a vital role in supporting the military. The social changes brought by these wars had lasting effects. Understanding the civilian impact helps us appreciate the totality of these conflicts. Section 6. Major battles compared. World War I had several major battles that defined the war. The Battle of Verdun was the longest battle, lasting from February to December 1916. The Battle of the Somme, also in 1916, was one of the bloodiest battles in history. World War II had its own defining battles. The Battle of Stalingrad from 1942 to 1943 was a turning point on the Eastern Front. The Battle of Midway in 1942 was a crucial naval battle in the Pacific Theater. The Battle of Normandy in 1944, also known as D-Day, was a significant Allied victory in Europe. Comparing these battles highlights the evolution of military strategy and technology. Section 7. Outcomes and long-term effects. The outcomes of World War I were far-reaching. The Treaty of Versailles redrew the map of Europe. It created new nations and dissolved empires. However, it also sowed the seeds of future conflicts. The economic and political instability it caused contributed to the rise of totalitarian regimes. The League of Nations was established to prevent future wars, but it was ineffective. World War II had even more profound outcomes. The United Nations was created to promote peace and cooperation. The war led to the decolonization of Asia and Africa. The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as superpowers, leading to the Cold War. The reconstruction of Europe, known as the Marshall Plan, helped rebuild war-torn economies. The Nuremberg trials brought war criminals to justice. The long-term effects of these wars shaped the 20th century. They influenced international relations, politics, and society. Understanding these outcomes helps us see the legacy of these global conflicts. Section 8. Legacy and Historical Reflection. The legacy of World War I and World War II is evident in many aspects of modern life. Memorials and museums around the world commemorate the sacrifices made. Literature, films, and documentaries continue to explore the human stories behind these wars. The lessons learned from these conflicts are taught in schools to emphasize the importance of peace and diplomacy. World War I is often remembered for its senseless slaughter and the futility of trench warfare. It serves as a reminder of the dangers of nationalism and militarism. World War II, on the other hand, is remembered for the fight against tyranny and the defense of democracy. It highlights the importance of standing against oppression and injustice. Reflecting on these wars helps us understand the human capacity for both destruction and resilience. It reminds us of the importance of learning from history. The legacy of these wars is a testament to the need for international cooperation and peace. Section 9. Conclusion. Lessons learned. In conclusion, comparing World War I and World War II reveals both similarities and differences. Both wars had complex causes, significant events, and profound impacts. They reshaped the world in ways that are still felt today. The technological advancements and social changes they brought were unprecedented. The lessons learned from these wars are crucial. They teach us the importance of diplomacy, the dangers of unchecked aggression, and the need for international cooperation. Understanding these conflicts helps us appreciate the value of peace and the cost of war. By studying these wars, we honor the memory of those who suffered and sacrificed. We also commit to building a better, more peaceful world. The legacy of World War I and World War II serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of learning from history to avoid repeating it.